now is the time to get it that Lionel Messi will not be a Paris St Germain player next season. It looks like he is not happy to play in the club, and maybe he remains determined to move back to Barcelona despite the Spanish club's financial troubles, or Cristiano Ronaldo's rival club in Saudi Arabia. Nobody knows his decisions. But one thing is certain, he will not be playing for PSG next season. Ready to know why he would not be a Paris St Germain player next season? Messi signed a 2-year contract with PSG days after Barcelona announced he was leaving the club, and his contract would expire in June. And even if the club and Messi had agreed to extend his contract, things have changed dramatically since the turn of the year. It's over, and those connections have shattered, so Messi has already gotten a place to continue his career. Either in Saudi Arabia or Spain. Now, let's discuss what made him take that bold decision. The latest chapter in the difficult relationship between Messi and PSG is also, in essence, the last straw for the club, so let's review where things went wrong. The 2022 World Cup winner has been suspended for 2 weeks after missing Monday's training session without permission because of sponsorship obligations in Saudi Arabia. He will not be paid, and he will not be allowed to train or play with the first team. Nasser Al-Khelaifi, the PSG chairman, was on a business trip in the US when he heard of Messi's absence, and he decided to be tough. The instructions from the coaching staff were clear. If PSG beat Lorient this past Sunday, the players would have Monday and Tuesday off. If they didn't, they would only have Tuesday off. In the end, they lost 3-1 at home in the Parc des Princes, turning in one of their worst performances of the season. Achraf Hakimi was sent off for 2 bookable offenses inside the opening 20 minutes following Lorient's early goal, and things quickly unraveled even after Kylian Mbappé equalized. The French champions have been famously indulgent with their best players for far too long. Many celebrities, like Neymar, got away with a lot of bad behavior. Not this time. The liberties taken by the World Cup winner were seen as a step too far, which is why the club took the stance of setting an example. Never since the Qatari owners took over the club, back in 2011, had a player been suspended in this manner and for this long. Yet it's now happened, and it's been done to the greatest player of all time. Messi's decision to snub his club and fulfill his obligations in Saudi Arabia has proven to be the beginning of the end for the superstar at PSG. Does this mean the end of the story for Messi in Paris? For sure. Does Messi care about it and about the sanction? Obviously not. Messi knew that traveling to Saudi Arabia on a work day, without the club's permission, was not acceptable, but he went regardless. He was named the country's tourism ambassador back in 2022, making at least 3 trips in the past year as part of his contractual obligations to visit. He'd had to postpone this trip twice because of logistical issues and was reportedly unwilling to do it again. The perception, however, is that he didn't respect his club enough to report for mandatory training after that Lorient loss, their 3rd in the past 4 home games. However, even before this latest incident, his future didn't look all that clear. After news before the 2022 World Cup of their agreement in principle to sign a new deal, meetings between Jorge Messi, Lionel Messi's dad, and the club in February and March led to nothing. To those in the room, it felt as though neither party really wanted to continue together. PSG even reportedly asked their star to take a pay cut, knowing it was something he would never be likely to accept. Additionally, people at the club were no longer convinced that there were legitimate on-field reasons to keep him. Messi shone in Ligue 1, where he is still too good in most games against most opponents, but he notably failed in the Champions League, with 2 poor performances against Bayern Munich in which he showed his limitations. Messi was ostensibly recruited to help the team win the Champions League. With him, they lost twice in the round of 16. In the meantime, Team Messi was loving the attention from Inter Miami, Barcelona, and Al Hilal. The Saudi club is the only one at this time to have made an offer to sign the 35-year-old player this summer. Simple things, such as the fact that the 3 Messi children have not been registered in a school in Paris for next year, are a good indicator that the family doesn't want to stay in France. Their dream is to go back to Barcelona, of course, But his former club would need to come up with a financial offer that not only suits Messi but is acceptable to La Liga and its wage bill regulations. Considering Barca's well-documented financial issues, there is still a long way before they can start to really believe in the prodigal son's return. The offer from Al Hilal, however, is still on the table and Messi is clearly keeping all his options open. PSG was one of them, but it is not the case anymore, and it is certainly not the ending that a lot of people, including PSG and Messi himself, imagined. But there's no turning back now. Where do you think Messi will go next season? Let us know in the comment section below.